I'm Callie Lawson-Freeman for Yahoo Sports. I'm here with Dearica Hamby. I'm so excited to talk to you. You're a two-time WNBA All-Star, two-time Sixth Woman of the Year, and I know you have a lot going on. You're a new mom, so I just really appreciate you for taking this time.
No, thanks for having me.
So before we get started, I want to set the scene a little bit. It's 9 p.m. and you're just, I want to say a month postpartum, and during your
No,
pregnancy.
we're 9 weeks now.
Oh, 9 weeks. Okay, that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay, 9 weeks postpartum. During your pregnancy, you moved from Vegas to LA. You're already
That's
back
great.
on the court, and
Hmm.
you've taken some time to talk to me tonight. And I'm guessing a motivator for that is your passion for what we're about to talk about, which is you're working with a pump company, Willow, to advocate for women's rights in the workplace. And I'm curious, what are the most important aspects of the Pump Act that Congress passed in December that you think some new moms might not know?
I think the important things to note that Willow's doing is with the Pump Act is just putting policies in place and setting a tone and kind of, I guess, showing moms the benefits that they have and that they should be taken advantage of in the workplace.
Yeah, and when you think of some of those benefits, what comes to mind?
Just having for me, pumping, my first, having access to pump in a place that is secure and like you feel comfortable. Um, you know, when I had my first child and I was nursing, I was pumping in the open, which it didn't bother me, but for some moms, it may be a little bit disturbing, but didn't have the resources 6 years ago to do that. And so now it's kind of like a standard. Now that you see nursing being more used more and like women are more comfortable nursing, I think, yeah, you're starting to see rules being implemented towards moms for that.
Yeah, I think it seems like obviously women are superheroes and can do a lot of things, but it helps to have support in the workplace when you're
Mhm.
transitioning back to work. And can you give me an idea of what that looks like and how the sparks have helped you in that area?
Absolutely. Just from the day I got traded, my story and it's starting to unfold and it'll come out soon. But my story it was kind of sad, but from I got on a phone call with the Sparks and instantly, I felt welcomed and supported, and that's a big reason why I decided to go forward with the trade to LA. And to this day, I literally called our general manager a week before his training camp, and I told her I was going to play now instead of later. So I don't think anybody was expecting that. And just been very supportive, and I'm here and just always asking any way they can help. If I ask something, like it gets done right away. Just really encouraging and kind of a different feel from what I left towards the end of my situation.
Yeah, and can you give me some insight into that choice to play now? Because I know that, well, I get the sense that the Sparks would support you and allow you to take some extra time if you wanted to,
Hmm.
but you seem to have like this internal motivation to get back to
Yeah.
the court and like tell me why that is.
Yeah, and I've spent a few phone calls with KB and Kurt, and they're like, you need to take your time, and I'm like, no, I'm coming back to play. Initially, I mean, from the beginning, they've always just been like, whatever you want to do, we support. If you want to take as much time, if you don't want to play at all, like we're here for you. And it very much so started in that way. I was dealing with a lot emotionally, and so I wasn't sure what it would look like for me to come back and play basketball so soon. But was supportive either way. And I literally called them a week before camp and was like, hey, I'm coming to LA. Like, and they were like, really? And like, here I am, getting ready to play. And the other motivation is just, I've done it before. And I think just as an athlete, the determination and willpower to kind of prove to myself that I can do it again. Cause I was the big fear getting pregnant and giving birth for a second time at like in this profession, and it's kind of late in my career that I can do it again.
So you want to prove to yourself that you can do it again, and you made the decision kind of at a time that nobody expected. Can you tell me, I guess, when you felt that moment shift where you were like, I'm doing this? Like,
Yeah,
what was that?
so it kind of started like I had sadness after the trade, and then I had to kind of dial into myself for a little bit because initially it was about proving the aces wrong. And I had to be like, that's not okay. You know, I need to do it for myself. That shouldn't matter. And so I took a step back and I said, okay, I'm gonna play at All-Star break. This will give me time. You know, I did it differently with my daughter. I had her and I played at, I think like right at 3 months. And she traveled everywhere with me. And so I was like, maybe I'll do this a little bit differently because that was one of the things that I kind of, in hindsight, it's like maybe if I wish I could have spent a little bit more time with her. And that's always a guilt as like a working mom. And so I said, okay, maybe with my son, I'll do it a little differently. But that didn't last very long. I was kind of sitting at home and saw everybody getting ready for camp. And I haven't missed a season, even despite like me having given birth twice and being pregnant twice. I haven't missed a season, so I'm not gonna miss it now.
I love that. And I feel like Media Day was a good way to make that statement. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you brought your daughter, you brought Legend to take those pictures and it was beautiful, but what was that day like?
Uh, it was different for me just because obviously I've been in such a different situation for so long. So just like re-getting back comfortable in a different situation. But it meant a lot to me. And obviously Legend doesn't understand, but Maya is fully aware and she understands. Um and she kind of asks questions like, well, did you do this with me when I was born? I'm like, yeah. But she's been such a like a big help to me and she's kind of embracing it all also. Um but I would say overall, like I was just excited and I'm grateful to be back playing basketball so soon.
Yeah. And you mentioned Amaya having questions and being so aware. Obviously,
Mhm.
you've acknowledged this in a way. Your relationship with her has kind of been put to the forefront because it's beautiful,
Mhm.
but it's been broadcast in a way. How do you feel about that now? You have another child. Like, do you feel the same comfort level with it, or how does it feel?
I debated about that, like when I had Legend, if I was gonna kind of keep him a little bit more private, but honestly, I try to be authentic to who I am, and it's being a mom first, and I think that's what kind of makes me and like my situation so special is because my family comes first. And, you know, it's kind of, people are like, well, if you would have locked into basketball more, like you would, and you kind of maybe saw with the Aces, they said they felt like I wasn't committed. And I think for me, it's like, and a person from the Aces staff, made a comment to me when I was, said that I was pregnant and said, basketball, nobody asks you about your championships, they ask you about your kids. And despite everything, I kind of held that comment, that statement like close to me. And I continue to like live by that.
Yeah. Well, okay. You kind of gave me a good segue. Said nobody asked you about your championships, but you are WNBA champion, and now you're heading into a new season. You, I've seen videos of you shooting around on the court. Like, what are you most excited about at this point as the new season approaches?
I'm excited for a fresh start. This being in this league is incredible. Just being in this league in general. It's hard. It's not many people could do it. Not many people can do it for this long, and then not many people can do it and continue to have kids and continue to play at a high level. So I'm thankful. Like I said, a fresh start, the timing of it, a new kid. So I'm embracing it all. LA is beautiful. They have championship experience, the championship caliber, and KB and Kurt are doing a great job of building the culture here. And I'm excited that I'm a part of that and that they want me to be a part of that. They called me like, we want you, despite like everything. So, um, we align with our morals and our values. And so, yeah, I'm glad to be here.
You mentioned that they called and they said, we want you. And I know something that stands out to me when I watch you as a player is kind of like those intangible things. Like you're such a
Hmm.
leader on the court and you bring so much hustle. And I feel like obviously that would gel with any team, but you have a completely new set of teammates
Hmm.
like you, Chene, Neka, Lexi, Jasmine. How does that chemistry feel early? I guess maybe you haven't been able to feel it out yet.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on court, but we're still definitely like learning each other. But I would say I'm around like good people and they're like I said, they're embracing me and everybody's trying to, like I'm a big staple to this team, so figuring out how to integrate everything. But overall, I mean, like I said, you just if you're around people that you know are enjoying each other, you tend to play better basketball. You've kind of seen the chemistry is what separates people in this league, um, and we have genuinely like good people from top to bottom, part of this organization. So, like I said, when it felt right when I got on the phone with KB and Kurt. It's the only call that I took, and like I felt like it aligned and it wasn't far from Vegas, and I'm kind of a West Coast girl now, so yeah.
Something else you said that stood out to me was that not many people can do it. Like, it's true, not many people can play in the WNBA. That's even more so now. There's so many talented women in the league, and there's all these calls for expansion. But I'm curious about just like an example that comes to mind is Chicago Sky's Ruthie. She recently announced that she
Yeah,
was
I heard. My mom told me about that. She was like, and I was like, I had no idea.
right. And so she mentioned when she announced it that being a WNBA mom is an elite club. It's an elite
hmm
club. And what do you think when you hear that? Like, it's an elite club. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be becoming more common now. I mean, I think this past year it was like six, maybe five or six different women that are choosing to, carry and have kids. And like I said, it was kind of frowned upon early on in this league, and more so because you're just afraid of what would be next after basketball if this didn't work out, or like you wouldn't be able to play. So I think it takes a lot of courage, and I think that's why this partnership with Willow meant a lot to me, and why I was so eager to be a part of it. And yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think one thing I'm curious about, and if you're not able to answer this, I completely understand because you mentioned more of your story will come out and there's a there's an investigation and everything, but that had to be tough. And even though you're on to a new chapter, that,
hmm
that still probably lingers. And from the outside looking in, that's all people can see. But from your experience, like what has that really been like? Like you're trying to move past something that's been really hard and then brace for the future.
Yeah, it was tough more so for me, because like I had felt so supported, and I had felt like, I mean, I still obviously made the right decision for me myself, but I felt, like I said, I felt very supported and encouraged, and we're in this together, and this is a long-term thing. Like you be healthy, like have your kid, and so for me, the hardest part was just like the switch that kind of went off, and it was like the complete opposite. And for somebody who had kind of, given so much to the organization and kind of sacrificed different parts throughout my career, it hurt. It hurt. And to this day, like it still hurts. And I try not to, like I'm moving forward. But obviously sometimes I see things and I'm triggered. But overall, like I'm healthy, my son's healthy, and in 10 years this won't matter.
In 10 years, it won't matter. That's a good way to think about it. And that's a glimpse into your mindset. Obviously, WNBA schedule is out and you'll face your former team a few times this season. How do you think your mindset will have to be going into those games?
Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna try to be myself and play hard. I'm not gonna try to do too much. Because like I said, I'm just grateful to be back playing basketball. I'll have been it'll be like 10 weeks, maybe 10 or 11 weeks since I gave birth. And I think one of them, like I said, I have to kind of reel myself back in at times and be like, it's not about proving them wrong. You're where you're supposed to be. So embrace that more than anything. Um, but it'll come with a lot of emotions, especially the first game there. And I'm kind of shaking right now, like thinking about it. But I know it'll be a moment that it'll probably be like I've said it before, like a pivotal moment in my life, because I know like the love and support that I'm gonna feel is gonna be overwhelming.
Oh my gosh.
I know
Okay.
you're gonna make me cry.
Okay. This is you're gonna have to work with me because I planned this before the interview started and I didn't think that we
No,
were
go ahead. You're fine. We got time. You're fine.
okay. So I want to take you back to your junior year at Wake Forest. Okay. I
Okay.
don't know if any interviewer has done this, but I found your LinkedIn from your junior year. I want to read you a portion of what you wrote, and I
I'm
just want
scared.
to get your reaction. You said, my experience with collegiate athletics has attributed to my persevering attitude, disciplined nature, efficient time management skills, coachable personality, and ability to lead. I'm extremely goal driven, and I believe that if there's a will, there's a way. In a positive manner, I don't take no for an answer. I'm open and willing to learn and try new things. I'm extremely excited about what my future holds of me, and I hope someone is willing to invest. Why am I getting kind of emotional? With
Oh my God.
with my personality, drive, and passion, I won't let anyone down. So now you are years removed from that, and you've had an incredibly
Wow,
successful
you have to
WNBA
screenshot that
career.
and send that to me because that, I mean, that sounds about, especially the second half of it. The will, if there's a will, there's a way. I think my career is kind of, spoken for that also. I kind of had our former coach and I had to kind of prove myself. And then I've always kind of been the selfless player on the team I like joke and call myself the stepchild, but sometimes it would feel like that. But I always kept pushing. I ended up, like even when I didn't get all the credit, I ended up still being All-Star and now I'm a two-time All-Star. So I just kind of stay true to who I am. And I think that kind of says that. And I mean, I work hard, but I balance my life as well. And I think it's put me in the position that I am now of, I have happiness in basketball, but I also have happiness at home. And you see a lot of athletes struggle with that.
Yeah. Well, I guess to wrap it up, if there's anything that you want to add, especially about pumping your partnership with Willow, I'm all ears. I'm open to hear it.
Yeah, no, I've literally like I said, I nursed with my daughter exclusively for 11 months 6 years ago, and the pumping equipment wasn't the greatest, so I just had a little handheld, and I loved my handheld at the time. So now just the things that they're coming up with, I was researching it around this time, and I found Willow, and I had my team reach out, and instantly it was a connection. And just the luxury that it is now to have a pumping company or that kind of stands for what I stand for, and then also kind of fits into the person I am and my lifestyles, being able to pump on the go. They didn't, like I said, they didn't have that 6 years ago, but being able to, stick them on and then go to a workout or, drive to pick up my daughter from school, has been helpful. It makes it a little bit more convenient. So like I said, I'm very fortunate that they want to do this partnership. And like I said, they've been very supportive, even with everything else of how can we, work with the W of creating a pumping policy or creating a policy for working moms. So I'm looking forward to that and their investment in women and working moms and, just wanting to know how they can help, I guess, encourage women if they want to be moms, be moms.
Yeah, that actually gives me a follow-up because I know that the W has been pretty involved with, you know, all different types of advocacy and outreach. Last
Mhm.
year with the Commissioners Cup, you were even a part of that. Like all this money was raised for the ACLU and voting rights. So do you see yourself
Mhm.
kind of throwing yourself back into that with maybe
Yeah, I
women?
mean, yeah, I think my personality has kind of shied away from those kind of things. But I think now, I had after the trade and everything, and I made my statement. NECA, was talking to NECA, our president, and she was like, this is gonna put you in the forefront, as this continues and it opens up more of the forefront for working moms, in our league. Are you gonna be okay with that? And I think everything happens for a reason. And for me, I'm kind of a staple player in this league, who has been, praised for being a mom, and then it's I give birth again, and now it's kind of the opposite. So it's if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. So I think now being able to, I think I will be more involved in that. Like I said, Willow has been very is there anything we can do to help support you and kind of push the narrative on what's going on, and yeah.
I like it. So we might see a maybe we'll see a WNBA Players Association Dearica in the
Well, I
future.
mean, they have done Terry, they did a great job with the last CBA of um like being progressive with pregnancy. We got our full salary. But I don't because this hadn't happened before, even like being a pregnant person being traded hadn't been a thing. So I don't think people were thinking that like that would ever be an issue. So I mean, I think this growth. I think it kind of makes you're gonna have to reevaluate the CBA and I won't call them rules, but the rules around pregnancy and how we can continue to be a progressive women's league. Like we're the forefront of that. So protect your moms. And I think the situation will be an eye opener. I think that they'll have to dig a little bit deeper in their choice of words and the things that they want to like emphasize. And yeah, I think this situation will help move our league forward in that direction.
Absolutely. And you'll be at the forefront of that, which is
Yeah.
so I really appreciate your time.